So now, I have the very distinct privilege of introducing our keynote speaker, retired Kansas State University football coach Bill Snyder. And like Janetta, Coach, I want you to know, I don't own much purple either, but for you, I brought it out. However, I'm going to tip my hat a little bit to my fellow Shockers. He did bring out his gold tie today. So I'm going to share a little bit that's not in the program, just to give you a bit of a background about Coach Snyder. So a few months ago, Kevin Gorman and I had the opportunity to go to Manhattan and meet with Coach Snyder and have lunch. And during our meeting, I was amazed at how humble and how down to earth he was, and about his openness about the ups and downs of his life journey. So Coach shared with us how those moments affected him and how involvement in scouting really helped to change his life and form him as a young man. So many of you are familiar with his success at K-State. However, I'd like to take you back to how his career there began long before he became the winningest coach at K-State football. Bill Snyder came to Kansas State University in 1988, taking on what had been tagged by Sports Illustrated as Futility U and labeled America's most hapless team. This was fairly accurate, given that the team had posted only 4 winning seasons in the previous 34 years and hadn't won a game since 1986. By 1993, Coach Snyder achieved not only a winning season, but he took his Wildcats to the Copper Bowl, where they posted their first bowl win, and that was the first of 11 consecutive bowl appearances. And by 1998, the Wildcats earned their first #1 ranking in the national polls. And in case you didn't do the math, he took them from the worst team in the country to the #1 ranked team in just 10 years. So that only scratches the surface of the accomplishments he achieved during his first tenure at K-State, and as those of us here know that there was a second tenure at K-State, we just couldn't get enough. We had to bring you back for a second round. So combined with that, his 25 years at K-State, his team achieved 2 Big 12 championships, 19 bowl appearances, and 12 seasons as a top 20 finalist. As a coach, he was named a 3-time Big 8 and 4-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, 5-time National Coach of the Year, received nearly every major college football coaching award after their 1998 season, understandably, and was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2015. So you may ask why I'm sharing this and why this is important with today's event. Coach Snyder shared that many of the scouting principles are what he used to lead his teams and take young men over those 2.5 decades, guided them to work as a team, develop them as individuals, and focus them on achieving the same goal. And that they did. So ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, my distinct honor to welcome Coach Bill Snyder to the stage.
Well, thank you for the wonderful introduction. I hope you share that with my wife. And thank each and every one of you. Pardon my voice. But I do have great appreciation for each of you for being here, for supporting scouting in your communities. Truly very, very special. And I think, obviously you wouldn't be here if you didn't recognize that. And in our day and age, in this day and age, scouting is needed maybe more than ever before for the obvious reasons. But it is truly special, that you take the opportunity to encourage the young people that do get involved in scouting and give them guidance and direction and allow them, a great opportunity to have an impact on their lives that will be beneficial throughout their lives in a very, very positive way. My time in scouting, obviously goes back. My mother, well, first and foremost, I was raised by a single parent mother. My mother and father separated when I was 4 years old, and my mother raised me by herself. She was a working mom, worked 10, 12 hours a day, was an amazing individual, cared for me, disciplined me, guided me. My mother was 4 foot 8 inches tall. True story. Never weighed 90 pounds in her life. The strongest, mentally toughest person, not lady, person that I've ever known in my life. And she gave me the guidance and direction that, at that time I really didn't want to have. But she instilled in me so many of the things that Scouting stands for, which I will never forget and will always have a great appreciation. Before thinking of family, before I go any further, let me introduce my son who came with me, who has been through most of my career with me as a son, first and foremost, but also as a player and also as a coach, Sean Snyder. And Sean just represents, one of 5 children that we have, and I have an immense pride for each and every one. And one of the things that you probably learn in scouting, I think I learned in scouting, was to embrace those that are meaningful in your life. And I have been so blessed to have these children who have been so meaningful in my life. And obviously, and I think most of us, a lot of you probably feel the same way, could never repay them for the value that they have brought to my life. Sean, certainly the oldest of those 5 children. I think going through, what I've been through in my life, some very, very positive things. My time here in Kansas, at Kansas State University, has been very, very special to me. The people of the university, the people of the state, have impacted my career and my opportunities and my life, at Kansas State. I think some of the things that you embrace in the scouting world are things that we embraced at Kansas State in our football program. It became significant in my life a long time ago to be certain that I surrounded myself with quality people. It was important to bring into my life those people who were genuine, who were sincere, who were caring, people who I felt could make my life better in an appropriate way. And that has been my encouragement to young people in programs that I've been around, is to do exactly that. Young people in this day and age, are surrounded by an awful lot of a variety of different quote-unquote things, and some of it's not good, as we all know. And yet, being surrounded by good quality, caring people certainly guides them away from some of the things that have created such a problem in our world today for young people. And my encouragement to you is to find ways in which you can assist in directing young people into the arms of quality, caring people who want to give them good guidance and good direction. I think, again, in my career, something that you get involved with, just in my life in general, goals come to mind. Establishing goals, most people talk about. To me, the most significant thing is probably achieving the goals that you set for yourself, and what's the method of being able to establish achievement of goals. Most people, and I've learned this probably, or at least it was solidified in my coaching career, that goals in coaching and athletics are a major thing, right? I mean, everybody talks about what they want to achieve, the goals that they set for themselves. I think in every athletic program you would go into, the first day you walk in the door, you probably see something on a bulletin board or put up where everybody could see it that identifies goals. And rightfully so, because, each and every one of us wake up with the idea of there are certain things that we want to achieve, and that could be realized as goal setting. And to me, goal setting is significant, it's important in our lives, but I think sometimes it's taken too lightly. And I think it's important that with children, and particularly, is being able to give them guidance and direction about establishing, what they might term as goals, directions that they should hopefully want to go, and things that they hopefully would want to achieve. And being able to sit down with them and gain the confidence of young people that they can confide in you those things that they desire to achieve, and then help them establish, the goals and how they might go about doing that. And I think one of the things that became significant to me in the realm of goals was defining, because in athletics, it's I think the word winning, goes to the top of the list for most people. And, what is it you want to achieve in your football, basketball, et cetera, program, such and such? We want to win. And unfortunately, in our world today, that's how people tend to be judged more frequently than they should be. And it is important to me that the values, the intrinsic values that exist in our lives, certainly in athletics, become the significant thing. I remember when I first went to Kansas State University, there was not a player in the program who had participated in a football game at Kansas State University in which they had won. Now, that could be pretty daunting, for a young person who is competitive, and he is basically there in that football program because of his desire to compete, to play, and obviously everybody wants to be successful. And what concerned me so much was the impact that it had on the lives of these young people. At that time, you could have 95 players on scholarship. We had 45 remaining in the program because young people did not want to suffer the defeat that was taking place on the field for them. And I remember, the count had gone down. As I said, we had We were less than 50% scholarship at the time. I can remember in the very first meeting that we had. And I asked the young guys to follow me and to go out on the football field. And I had them turn the scoreboard on. And we walked down the field. And as we walked down the field, we got to the 50-yard line. I stopped them. And I said, look at that scoreboard. And I said, I will never assess you or judge you based on what that scoreboard says. But I will judge you based upon these things. And I laid out, you've probably seen somewhere, the 16 Wildcat goals for success. It's online, it's been there for a long time, but just a number of intrinsic values that are significant in not just an athlete's life, but my life, your family's life, everyone. And I went through those and explained that's how you will be judged, not by what it says on the scoreboard. And that's the way we ran our program, for the entirety of my career there at Kansas State University. And it was significant to me that became significant to young people in the program, to know that, yes, there is a great expectation, and the expectation is one that they could control. And the expectations you placed upon yourself, or you do place upon yourself, are things that you have control over. And they had control over those expectations, and consequently, they saw it as something that, yes, is achievable. For so much of what they had gone through in the previous years, you can attribute a variety of different things of why it happened, but it was something that probably wasn't achievable, at that particular point in time. But, having the opportunity, again, to be involved in the lives of those young people has truly been special, very special to me. I have encouraged it. It has helped me in being able to identify the things that are significant in life, significant to me, significant to my family. One of the most significant things, again, overused word, but one of the most significant things I think that I learned from it and have tried to pass on to my family and to others is the simple concept of improvement, of daily improvement. We can all find ways every single day of our lives to become a little bit better in any area of our life that we choose. And unfortunately, at least in my eyes, not enough of us do exactly that. I think there's so many people, and I come across young people who the answer, regardless of what arena you go into, the answer is, I can't do that. And my response is, yes, you can. And you can by establishing, a direction you want to go and where you want to get there and how to get there. The important thing is, how do I do it? And then the more significant response is, will I do it and do it? It's that used to be a byword in our program is just do it. And you've heard that before. And so many of us just don't do it sometimes. Sometimes it's too hard. Sometimes it takes too much time. Sometimes I've got something else on my mind, whatever the case is. But, whatever is significant and important in our lives, the important thing is, yes, just do it. And, I think in terms of not so much just the football aspect of it, but as it is relative to everyday life for every young person. All of the children in our family were not athletes, and so consequently there are other things that were significant in their lives, and those were equally as important, which they certainly should have been. I think we all involved or are involved in a problematic world, where everything doesn't go right in our lives, every single day, and it's finding the way, that we can overcome whatever the issues and concerns happen to be. And that takes a great deal of effort. That takes a lot of help. That takes us being capable of being able to ask for assistance and ask for help, as well as being people that are there for others, and that we can step in, recognize some of those issues with other people, and step in and help. We're in a world where help is needed in a major way. And I think it is significant for it's so easy to sit by and watch the world pass by and take care of ourselves, period. And certainly taking care of ourselves is significant, but being able to give guidance and direction and help, to those that are in need is extremely important. Scouting, that's a central part of scouting, in my belief. And I appreciate what you do in that respect. I think one of the things that that we all learn, I've certainly learned, is the value of perseverance and not giving up. And I think that's one of the things that I was helped with, in regards to scouting. I was raised by a single-parent mother. I was an only child. Mother and father, as I indicated, separated when I was, I think, 4 years old. My mother worked at a department store in St. Joe, Missouri, called Townsend, Wyatt and Wall. She worked there for a countless number of years, became a buyer, moved up in the business, and yet did not make a lot of money. My mother never owned an automobile in her life, never had a car, was a single parent of an only child who was ornery, to say the least. But my mother gave me so much guidance and direction, which was so similar. She entered me into the scouting world, and when I would go into scouting meetings, I would hear exactly what I heard from my mother. So much of what the scouting world brings to a young person is immensely significant and important to all young people, and it certainly was to me as a young person that probably had their eye out for trouble as much as anything. But it has been significant in my life, continued to do so. I have a great appreciation, obviously, for what each and every one of you do. I encourage you to continue to do so and to, promote scouting, as much as you possibly can. Again, with the recognition that it is so meaningful to so many young people in our world today. The expectations that young people have today are quite interesting, to say the least. I think the significant thing is to be able to help them sort through, what it is that they desire, And all of us, wise enough to be able to help give guidance and direction. I think, again, we're in a day and age where some see it as being inappropriate to step in and give guidance and direction to a young person's life, but it's never been more needed than it is today. Now, somebody 10 years from now will probably say the same thing, but it is highly significant, highly important, highly needed, and giving them the guidance that can direct them to people who can have that positive impact on their lives as well. Very, very significant. I don't mean to take any of your time. I would, I'm not sure, hopefully you didn't want me to address football, but that was not my intent. But if you have any questions about that or anything else, I would be more than happy to try to respond. Make sure that you feel like you got enough from what I was talking about. So if there's any questions that you do have, please ask. That's it. Okay. Well, pardon?
We've got time for a couple of quick questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. When did you first realize you wanted to be a coach?
I think it came into my life very early. As I said, my mother and father were separated. My mother worked 10, 12 hours a day, so I spent a lot of time by myself. My mother put me into a YMCA. She wanted to make sure she was a caring mother, and she wasn't going to leave me alone, and so she put me in a YMCA, and athletics was a big part of it, and those were things that were significant to me, and I enjoyed doing them. Then when I got into school, I participated in virtually all of the athletic events or contests or sports that you could. And before too very long, I realized that I enjoyed it a great deal. And I had the opportunity to work with some youth programs when I was still in school, and what you might call coaching, and decided that's what I would like to do. I was fortunate enough to be offered a scholarship at a couple of schools, and the best match was at a college called William Jewell College, and that's where I attended school. I went to the University of Missouri my first semester and realized that I was out of my element, and went to a smaller college in William Jewell, and I did so because of the head football coach at William Jewell College was a man by the name of Dr. Norris Patterson. And Dr. Patterson came to see me, and he was offering me the opportunity to go to William Jewell College. And what I was impressed by so much was his feeling of, how he felt about me. Not as a player. I don't think he ever mentioned, getting on the field and playing or playing this position, whatever it was. It was just about a value system and intrinsic values. And that stuck with me all of my life. And when I got to William Jewell College, I realized that was him. He wasn't about the football program as much as he was about the individuals and their character and development. And that was highly significant in my life, truly. I don't know if I answered the question, but.
Great.
Can I do it?
Stay here.
Oh, okay.
So we wanted to present you something. I'm sure you've collected a lot of things over the years, so I'm going to let Kevin Gorman here is going to present you. So what we've done is, we've got a Coach Bill Snyder Summer Camp Scholarship. So what this will do is we are going to offer a camp scholarship to one of our youth that cannot otherwise afford it themselves, but we're going to award it to them in your name.
Wonderful.
So-
So beautiful.
Thank you. So thank you, Coach Snyder. So many wonderful things to take away. If you've not read his book or you've not looked at the 16 principles, I would encourage you to go and search those and look them up, and you will see how much those really do align with what we see are the scouting principles. Really, truly did make an impact as a youth, has carried it into his adulthood as a coach. So we appreciate your generosity, your willingness to be here today. Sean, thank you for coming as well. We'll hit our other Kansas schools. KU football coach. So we've now made a little bit of acknowledgement to all of our major Kansas schools. So thank you both for being here. We appreciate that.